do you a quick walk around so you can see what it looks like. Paintwork's definitely in used condition, but that's what you would expect. You know, plenty of battle scars from its life. Got the speed selectors here, which go from 25 RPM all the way to 2000 RPM. I've got a high and low selector for the main gearbox, main headstock gears. Belts are all there. Main drive gears are all there and don't seem to be chipped or missing any teeth, which is always good. Aye, it looks clean enough for what my needs are. It's a big chip tray there that slides out. It's like a chip drawer, so you can clear the swarf out easily. You know, there's a little bit of surface rust off it being on a trailer overnight, but it was topped up, it was covered, so it wasn't exposed to rain, just moisture. But the whole thing will be getting stripped down, so I'm not really too concerned by the bit surface rust. Tailstock moves freely, but does have a bit of slop on the end there. But you know, I'll be stripping the whole thing down, so once it's all put back together, I would imagine I'll get that nipped back up. So pretty happy with that. Definitely worth the money, I think. And then this cupboard of tools here is a gold mine. The stuff that's in here is worth way more than 500 quid easily. We've got big boring bars, a couple of adjustable reamers, we've got internal jaws for, external jaws for what I believe to be for a 4-jaw chuck, which isn't, we don't have, but might be able to get my hands on it soon, as he's still clearing the workshop that this came from. Got all these tools, selection of drive dogs, high-speed steel bits, insert bits, lots more high-speed steel, some big radius cutters, and more what look to be mandrels and selection of pieces, used bits, scrap bits. It's a hell of a selection. Hi there guys, today I've been working on wiring up my recently acquired Colchester Triumph TR2000. To do so, I have just initially wired up the motor. So I've changed the motor's configuration from star to delta, and then what I've done is I've traced the motor wires to these three black cables here, which fed into this box, this unit here. So I've taken them out from that unit, put a 380 volt rated junction block between the motor wires and what were the original three-phase connection cables that come in through this conduit here. So I've basically just bridged through the original electrics setup so I can use the original wires without having to rewire everything, just to get an initial test run. I will probably rewire everything properly once I've done the full restoration, but for now I just wanted to see the machine working and listen to the headstock, as I bought this without viewing it. So this is my first time firing her up. So I've been working through what speeds I could get to. I managed to get up to 840 RPMs, currently on a 16 amp plug, due to upgrade to a 32 amp plug, so I can then get the higher range speeds, as it just tripped the 16 amp breaker if I tried to start at 1120 RPM. So for now I'm only able to take it up to 840 without tripping the breaker. So that's still pretty good for a 7.5 horsepower motor on a 16 amp rated plug though. But we'll just take it down a step and we'll go for 470 RPM, just a nice medium speed. We've got to start the inverter as if you were pressing the power on button on the front of the machine, as I haven't hooked up the individual controls yet. she's alive. Definitely got a noisy headstock, so I'm going to have to inspect the whole thing. As it stands, I'm pretty certain, not sure if you could hear that there, when it slows down it sounds like there's something loose inside the headstock clunking around. Yeah, something's clunking. And the oil sight glasses, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, maybe if I put the torch on. As you can see, the oil sight glass is cracked there, and it actually looks to be full down here and not leaking, so that's a good sign that there is some oil in there. But I'm not sure if this panel here is a repair that's been done or if that's stock. I'm not 100% on that. So I think there could be a lack of oil in the entire headstock. That might be why it's so noisy. If the sight glass is cracked and weeping, over time it's going to have lost its oil. But other than that, which I think is a pretty common thing, I'm happy. The machine's running on 220. Obviously it needs a lot of work still, but I'm pretty pleased with that. Foot brake must be, the pads must be worn out on the foot brake because it doesn't seem to stop the spindle very fast. Definitely going to be a project, this machine, but once it's up and running properly, it will be a beauty to work on. Cheers guys.